Good evening, everyone. I am Espoir Duvid. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. I have no idea what I'm doing. If you're old to the channel, then you're probably thinking, here we go again. Today I'm playing Your Boyfriend by Black Shepherd Games. Again. To put it simply, this game is about, well, your boyfriend. Don't have a boyfriend? Well, you do now. What's that? You don't want a boyfriend? Too bad. This is an adult game, by adults, for adults, that will have many adult themes and triggering events for adults. And much of the fan art is also specifically made for mentally and physically mature human and individuals. I bet you're tired of me saying that this game is for an adult. I'm serious. I really don't want any young people getting traumatized because they think Peter is hot. Anyway, there's one more thing, because, I can't show day 2 until the game is finished, but there is one more thing I can do in day 1 that I haven't done in a video yet. I've done by myself, and it's a route that's just so horrible and vile and just so utterly cruel that I didn't even think to record it. I just played it and just broke my heart. So now I'm going to play it for you. So sit back and prepare to get your heart broken, because are we doing this again? Alright. Forgetting how to play. I haven't played this in a minute. Oh, thank goodness. So, my Your Name OC, my YN OC that I made up shortly after I discovered this game, her name is Hope. Please allow me to, yes. So Hope would never do these things I'm about to do. She would never even dream about saying or doing these things to her beloved boyfriend, because she's never had a boyfriend. She's just very to have one. But another character that I made up would be very much at home doing all these horrible things. Welcome, Rose. You two have fun. Out here, mouse. My life has been chaotic. My family broke out into another fit of drama, so I left the nest, ran straight to college, got an apartment and a job, and then I forgot about the loud beeping of these videos and that I need to not talk over it so I can make it less irritable later. Anyway, so that I don't have to read all this a 4th time, your character is working at a dead-end job. They're not making enough money. The roommate isn't paying their half of the rent, so you have to work twice as hard to pay their half of the rent. You're just in a really, really dead-end place. You're just kind of down in the dumps. And the only thing that you can really do is just kind of sit in the park and just wait for the apocalypse, I guess, for the 4 horsemen to come down. When one of them, looks over your shoulder, the pestilence looks over your shoulder and says, "Hey, you got any games on your phone?" And you're like, "No, pestilence, I don't have games on my phone." What? I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Where was I? What am I doing? What's happening? Right. Sitting alone on the bench, thinking about the apocalypse, and if the 4 horsemen are really hot. What?
Whoa, hey, take it easy, it's just me.
Here comes the boy. Welcome.
As if I don't know who that is. We meet again, Peter. It's so nice to see you again, darling. Man, I love this emoji. Ugh. My folder for fan art I've collected of Peter is just kind of outshining my Undertale Sans folder. Ugh.
You're a jumpy one, aren't you?
You'll also notice that this is still voiced, because this is still the very old file that I still have, because you never know. I'm only playing day 1, and the free demo is in day 1. I don't know if the free demo is still voiced, but recently the voice actor for Peter has stepped down, but they are getting a new one very soon, and people who are in the Patreon will be able to hear, or hear whoever the new voice actor is going to be. I don't know if they've decided yet, but that's going to be really exciting. I'm sitting here on the bench, thinking if the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are hot, when all of a sudden, this adorable golf ball just sits right next to me and completely derails my train of thought. He smiles and scoots himself closer to me, shyly and awkwardly. Yeah, I'll bet. I keep my eyes on him, unsure what his intentions are. His unblinking eyes don't stray from mine, not once, and it's annoying. That's what Rose would say. Rose don't like none of this. Rose would probably just stare at him back and be like, yeah, what?
So, are you waiting for a family member or a friend?
I am gonna miss this voice actor. So, my character Rose would probably say, oh, I'm waiting for Nunya. None your business.
Just seems kind of odd for you to be sitting out here, all alone like this and so far away from the jogging track.
It's at this point that you go, bye, and just get up and leave. How often does a sane person walk up to you out of the blue and start asking such questions? So, because of the route that I'm going to go through, Rose would humor him. She wouldn't immediately leave. She'd stay down. She'd stay there and see what this guy's all about. He picks up on my unease and refrains from sliding any closer. He crosses his fingers between his legs and smiles warmly. Gosh darn it, he's still cute. He's still cute. You still have my little Undertale heart, Peter.
Look, I know this is sudden, very sudden, but if you're free tonight, can I have the pleasure in taking you out to dinner?
I can't do the eyebrow. Can't do it. So, at this point, Rose would probably think, oh, he's a psycho. Let's see where this goes. Can I have the pleasure? She's very... I don't even know what that's called. What is that called when you go... Ugh. Never mind. He was the weird one. I can't tell if he's a bit awkward or just eccentric. What? Why? Why do you have such an interest in me? I'm just sitting here. Wait, I used that joke before.
Well, I'm your boyfriend.
Are you now?
Are you sure about that?
She'd be very cynical. I gotta draw what Rose looks like. She'd just be extremely cynical.
Isn't that why you're here?
Aww. I hope the new voice actor reads that line with as much unease as Peter does here, as the original voice actor does here, because he's clearly breaking the fourth wall. I clicked on this game called Your Boyfriend. I'm playing this game called Your Boyfriend. It's like a dating sim that only has one guy in it. He knows that you're here for him and him alone. Nobody else was on the advertising thing. So he understandably thinks that you're already in a relationship. He's just kind of speed-running his own game. Slow down, Peter, you're gonna choke. At this point, Rose would probably think, oh, heck no. Because Rose uses curse words, and I don't really use curse words. My boyfriend? Why would he be assuming we're in a relationship? So, Rose, she's not an awful person, but she's not a great person. She'd agree to this, but things aren't going to go as well as Peter thinks. Dinner sounds nice. And she's gonna wait to the very last second. I guess. It's not like I was doing anything anyways, and it would be a nice break from the monotony. God knows I could stand to forget my problems for a few hours and bully this nerd. And this guy seems like a huge nerd. Really? That's great. Oh, sweet baby. Sweet baby. He does not know. He does not know. So anyway, Peter, that's his real name. Peter, he's really happy about this. He's finally got a date. And I've lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. So he suggests that we go to the diner. Where I work. Or where Rose works. Because I am not a horrible person like Rose. I would never forget to move my cursor from the middle of the screen. I show up at the diner at 7 p.m., feeling rather unusual about meeting someone at the place that I work for a completely spontaneous dinner date. And with a complete stranger who knew that I worked here. Seems incredibly sus. I think I should shove him in a locker. Weird. So Peter is a little bit late. This nerd comes to me. He comes to me, Rose, and asked me on a date, and then he has the nerve to show up late. Taking my seat, I wait. I look at the old-fashioned neon light clock that hangs over the jukebox. He's 5 minutes late. I should just leave. How dare he? So I buy myself a milkshake. The milkshakes here are apparently really good. In fact, every time I play this, I want to flip and milkshake myself. That sounds delicious. But I don't have any ice cream. Just have Capri Suns, which is fine. It's such a good milkshake. It's such a good Capri Sun. Capri Sun milkshake? Maybe not. No, maybe not. No, don't do that. Please don't do that. A man rushes in through the diner's front doors. He looks like he ran the whole way here with something tucked carefully in his arm. I immediately recognize his sleeveless hoodie and blue shirt. He quickly scanned the diner in a bit of a panic. He was running late and probably thought that I may have already left. Like I should have. I was one of the few people in the diner, but he still didn't seem to see me very quickly, which was super annoying. What a nerd. I wave over to him. She probably did it half-heartedly, like, come on, camera. Alright, fine. Just very sassily. You're late. I know. I'm so sorry. I had to make a quick stop. He speaks between breaths. I don't know where he came from, but he must have ran the whole way when he realized that he was running late. Giving a timid smile, he pulls out the long white box that he was carrying. He places it on the table and slides it over to me. Here, I bought this for you. Thinking about earlier today in the park, it might have been a little creepy to ask you for a date on the spot. Yeah, it was. Rose says, nerd, under her breath. I thought I might get you a little something as a way of apologizing. What a sweet boy. Or is he? If it was awkward for you, of course. He got something for me? Really? It better not be a severed ear or fingers or something. It probably is. Opening the box, I look inside. I see 2 long-stem roses with deep red petals. The thorns were removed. They are bound by a shimmering black silk ribbon. He brought me flowers! Oh, how romantic! Oh, how wonderful! Oh, I'm so happy! Not. Rose would be utterly disgusted. Because, for some reason, Rose hates roses. So, she would look at them with utter disgust. Roses? Seriously? Rose takes a really long time to answer because she's being snooty about it. It's so much fun to make that face. Gee, thanks. I look at the creepy black ribbon. I wonder if there's a card that reads, "To my future murder-suicide." Not at all thrilled with the gift as I place it callously on the table in front of him. His face drops as he reaches to take them back. Oh, I'm sorry. If you don't like them, I can head out and get you something else. What do you like? Daisies? Sunflowers? Lilies? If you were stalking me, you'd know exactly that I hate roses. Why? What possible reason could Rose have to hate roses? I wonder. I fold my arms, annoyed at how pathetic he was being. Come on, you show up late. Bring me some roses that look like they came from a funeral home, and I had to buy myself a milkshake while waiting for you. Geez, so vile. Just throws the roses back at him and scolds him. Do you think that some cliche roses are gonna make up for this? His shoulders fall. Holding the roses close to his chest, he mutters awkwardly.
I'm so sorry. I'll pay for the milkshake.
Oh, poor baby boy. Poor sweet boy. Or is he? I've been around Peter long enough to know that he's a great actor. But I am being a horrible person. He is a pathetic little guy, isn't he? He's bending over backwards to try and make it up to me. Rose is so vile. Ugh. How did you know I work here anyway? Wanting to know why he knew about this place, I stir my milkshake and I wait as he fumbles over his thoughts. Oh, I walk by here often. Almost every day, in fact. I catch little glimpses of you through the window whenever you're working. That's how I know. I mean, I try coming in to see you, but I lose my courage every time. Well, that's not creepy or anything. She probably said that sarcastically. He sinks more into his seat. I'm sorry. His whimpering eyes look up at mine. I'll make it up to you. I'll take you out to a nicer place next time, and I'll be more punctual too, I promise. He clutches the roses to his chest as if in prayer. This man is desperate, isn't he? He's acting like a drowning man, mentally paddling to keep his head above water. I reach for my milkshake after my tummy rumbles at me. Less talking, more Capri Sun. Heck! Pulling the soft treat close to me, I start eating, keeping the creepy man in suspense. I take my time, intentionally ignoring him whenever he tries to start a conversation. So, poor Peter is just like, so, how's the weather today? And I'm just... Goodness. It was surprising that he hadn't counted his losses and left already. He must be very desperate to want to make it up to me. I licked the spoon clean, let out a satisfied sigh, and leaned back into my seat, just smug sipping. Alright, I suppose I could give you a second chance. Alright, I guess I could give you a second chance. I mutter, mainly to myself, and lick the bits of cream from the corner of my lips. I bet you like that, don't you, Peter? His posture immediately stiffens. Really? You mean it? But you had better be on time. And bring chocolates, too. Aw. I ordered before standing up from the table. Talking next to him, I pointed to a napkin dispenser on the table. Write your name, write your number, and I might call you when I've got some spare time. Maybe. Yes, of course. He stutters, snatching a napkin and pulling a pen from his pocket. He quickly writes down his number on the paper before handing it to me. I'll do better. Much better next time. Oh, his moods kind of shift pretty quickly, huh? As if he's not really all that sad. It's all pretty calculated, don't you think? Taking the napkin, I look at the number and notice that there's no name on it. You trying to be anonymous or something? I show him the napkin, tap my finger on where name should be. You just gave me a string of numbers. What is this? He goes eerily quiet. The uneasy, pathetic expression that he wore turns to pure disgust. My name is a joke, you know. To be honest, I would prefer to go by whatever you prefer to call me. What? You hate your name that much? So I'd imagine at this point Rose and Peter would kind of bond, because Rose hates her name too. She's a tough gal. She don't take nonsense from nobody, and she doesn't really have a nice bone in her body, but she can connect with Peter at that they both hate their own names. He nods before looking back up to me. He squeezes the pen. You can call me... Yeah, sure, why not? I'm 35 years old. You can call me Cockbite for all I care. That's what I deserve for such a terrible evening. He did have a point. Okay, how about... Nuts, I didn't think about this. So I'm not going to call him Cockbite. Yeah. I know the perfect name for him. Nerd. How about Nerd? He seems pleased with what I came up with, despite how silly or cliche it was. Dang it. Slow down. He gives a little smile and nods. He writes down on the fragile bit of disposable paper before handing it back to me. I like that a lot better, really. Alright, Nerd. Just pay for my order. I rolled my eyes before taking my leave. It was getting dark after all, and I didn't like walking home at night. Even though I'd punch anybody who'd mess with me. I walk by the waitress and tell her that the guy in the sleeveless hoodie was paying for the shake. Just leave him. Just pay for this. Throws it at him. Slides the empty thing at the empty glass across the table at him. She could tell that I was in one of those moods and just shrugged silently. I didn't look back before I left. So, I have played this route before on my own, but when it got to this line here, this is why I call this the ice-cold route. It was getting cold outside, and I could feel my skin grow goosebumps. Maybe it was the dropping temperature, or the ice cream cooling me from the inside out. I don't know. Sure is chilly in here. I glanced back at the diner to make sure that creep Nerd wasn't following me. He sat twisted around in the booth, watching me leave. He waved, but I turned and kept walking. I took a sharp, unusual turn down a road opposite where I live, just in case. It will take more time to circle back and get home. Better safe than sorry. By the time I passed the diner a second time, he was no longer in the booth by the window, but the waitress was cleaning the plates from his table. At least that weirdo enjoyed a meal. My stomach growled bitterly. Bitterly. Next time, I'll make him order me everything on the menu, just out of spite. Man, it's getting cold. Is it cold out here, or is it just me? Once back at my place, I groan loudly when I overhear my roommate and their study partner doing more than studying. Walking by the room, I pound loudly on the door. Ugh. Other people are trying to live here, you know. I imagine Lady and Rose would just get into all kinds of fight. You'd wonder why they're even friends. Flopping into my bed, face down and limbs out, I let out a long, miserable groan. I take a moment to rest before rolling over on my back to stare at the ceiling. With the napkin in my hand, I look at the sloppy handwriting, giving a scoff. I toss to the floor by the bed. Just, ugh. Meh. I'm not even gonna bother with him right now. I have too much to deal with at work tomorrow. I don't need a whiny creep on my hand. Mind. I don't need a whiny creep on my mind. Too tired to even get undressed, I roll over and drift to sleep. Better not be anybody in my window. I can't see because NVIDIA won't let me move my picture face. Well, that was the ice cold route. There's a lot more because if you become a Patreon for the Inverted Mind Patreon, you'll have access to days 2 and days 3. Days 3 is still kind of in development, but they're working on it. It's a small team, they're working on it. I should know I've been working on my own game for like, 5 years. But yeah, this is your boyfriend. It's gonna get dark, it's gonna get adult. This is not a game for kids or people who are easily triggered. But it is a fun little interesting game. I really like it. If you want to, you can subscribe to my channel. I will be playing the full game when it comes out, but that might be a while, so be patient. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, stay safe, and try to leave the world a little better than you found it. And also don't talk to strangers, and if they ask you if you're waiting for somebody, get out of there right now. Doesn't matter how old you are, always take care of yourself. People can be creepy. Picking up the scrap of paper off the floor, I look over the number Nerd had written down. Might as well call him. With a pushover like him, I'm sure he'll take care of most things around here, rather than bleed me dry. Besides, I'm sure he'll jump on my offer like in a heartbeat. What?
Don't worry, I'll take care of you.